Hello, darkness, my old friend. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Chop Sports Show right here on a football Monday. It is Sturch, it is Gooch, it is Wrestling Rob coming to you live from Chop Studios, and of course the Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru studio, broadcasting from the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk. I said our names already. Interesting show is ahead of us because it's only ever so often that both me and Gooch suffer losses in the same week. Gooch a couple more weeks than me this year. We'll get into all that stuff. It's interesting to see what's going to translate and play out. We're waiting for the arrival of one Scoop Espo to see if there's any extracurriculars, right? As tweeted out by the Sauce last night. Nick is our first person in the chat. I'm sure he's thrilled right now as the Giants are 5-1. But I do want to let you guys know that if you want to support Chop Sports, we got 2 new Patreon members last week. It was Mr. Shake and, of course, my buddy KC Cabanella. So make sure you guys go check out the Patreon, a $3, a $5, a $10 variation. That's the way to do it. Are you guys, when's the next memorabilia break?
This Thursday. Beautiful. There's actually 3 spots available left. We thought they would be gone by now, but I've done a very poor job. Well, there's 3 spots available, but there's actually 18 or 19 teams available because how we do it. We sell.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
16. That's right. So look, 3 spots available. If anybody wants to get in on it, just hit up the Instagram.
Thursdays are always fun. Yes, Nick, you're excited. Your Devils do indeed suck still. So that's fun. Rangers are still playing well. Anyway, a lot to get into today. We'll start off with the fact that last night was salvaged. Myself and Gooch thought we were going to go into the night completely in disarray. But thank you to the $1 trillion man, Gerrit Cole, for pitching a gem last night and getting the Yankees to a Game 5, which, again, this series in particular, I don't know if it should even be this freaking long. Like, it's just the Cleveland Guardians are a scrappy team, and they have a lot of good players on that team. And, some guys from, teams of past. But when I look at this Guardians team, I think they're a lot better than what people give them credit for. But the one guy can just get punched right in the face every time. What the hell's his name? Who cares?
Josh Naylor.
Naylor. He sucks. Dude, first of all, you're nobody's father, okay? And what your celebration was running around the bases, you looked like a clown show, dude. You looked like an absolute fool, but I know you're here for it, so.
Yeah, so I did think he looked like a fool, but that's not for me to decide on. He had a good time rounding the bases, and he elevated the stakes a little bit, and I think that it made me sick to see. But it also probably made the Yankees sick to see it. And when the Yankees, or if they do today, hit a home run that's in a big spot, and they get to flip the bat and point to the Indians dugout, it makes it that much more exciting.
Bro, he looked right at Cole.
He looked right at the dugout, rounding third base, and he pointed and said, "That's my little fucking boy out there. That right there, that motherfucker's my son." And that's what makes playoff baseball great. If this was the regular season, he's getting thrown at.
Correct.
Somebody's getting thrown at in that game, but they can't do it because it's too important. And this will carry over. This will be next season. I love it. A budding rivalry. Why wouldn't you be here for it? That's the same reason why I love Conor McGregor. There's already a lot at stake, but when you insert like emotion that has to do with like somebody talking shit and now you feel embarrassed, you have to live up to it. It raises the stakes. It makes it that much more interesting for the fans. I love hating on players. So now I get to hate on a player. That's amazing.
He shot up the ranks for me.
His whole career.
He's in the Pedroia Altuve ranks for guys I want to punch right dead in the mouth. And I know I can take him too. I know I absolutely can take him. Just like you think you can take Tom Brady, I can ruin that guy. 100%.
Who, Josh Naylor?
Yes.
Big dude.
Stop. I'm challenging him right down to a street fight.
Is it the same guy that jumped into the stands? Huh? Who was the guy from the Cleveland that jumped into the stands? Remember during the season, the guy jumped up and was pointing in the fan's face. Yankees.
No, that was Miles Straw, and he's a 9 batter, and he sucks, and he gives my son a bad name with that stupid name. Miles. Josh Naylor, he spells it stupidly. He's dumb.
Right.
M-Y.
He's a good. He's a decent bat, but he's
Miles Straw is my son.
Josh Naylor. We'll see what he's able to do tonight. Who is it? Jamison Taillon pitching.
Taillon's pitching.
A little nervous.
Were you able to? I know that you were with Kyle at the Sauce on Saturday. They obviously have 15 TVs plugged in. Were you dialed into the Seattle Astros 18-inning jammer?
No.
That was insanity. Insanity. And I'm thinking to myself, if Seattle wins, they should give them 2 wins. Like even up the series after a win of 18 and 2 games, actually 2 full games of baseball were played. Which is nuts. It's just absolutely nuts. But it gives you the now. I might be in the minority. Maybe I'm an old school baseball fan, but that to me was more exciting than putting a ghost runner on second base and then having it end literally on a bunt, drag bunt, and a pop fly.
Well, they're never going to do that in the postseason.
No, I know, but I'm saying like just get rid of it altogether. Goodbye. Like they want to speed up the game. No, that was captivating shit. You're waiting for that one pop. And I get it. It got long.
It's different when it's like a Wednesday night in the middle of the week.
Saturday.
Okay.
Or Friday. Or
my point, middle of the week on a Wednesday night. And let's say August. And you got to run your team through this gauntlet of 2 games in actually 1 game. It's not cool. I don't mind the extra runner on in the regular season. I just honestly I don't care. But in the playoffs, they got to keep it straight up. And I think that there is a little bit of an element that like maybe you should just play the game the way it is played all the time and not change things. But it does make sense. It's more so for the fans and the bullpens, really. Like it sucks to see a bullpen just get destroyed. But your ERA does go up.
You know what's funny? Specifically talking about the rules. Next year, when there's no shift allowed, the Yankees would probably already have won this series. Like because they put the shift on and they went opposite way a couple times, and the Guardians scrapped together a couple runs. So that's like right away when they ban the shift and it's no longer legal, we'll be in position to make those plays.
Yeah.
And by the way, IKF, shoot yourself into the sun, bro. Just right through the sun. This guy can't play defense for shit. And I don't know why there's been so many talks about how he was a Gold Glover. That's a thing. He won a Gold Glove in Texas.
Look,
that can't be true.
Something about
sucks.
Being managed by Aaron Boone, you just start to suck. And I know here, come on, Aaron Boone. Everybody, it's not Aaron Boone. Shut up. I don't like Aaron Boone.
But all right,
enough.
Also, in that regard, I believe it was Scoop or maybe a couple other people that said like, why wouldn't? And I read it. This is where you get nitpicky, and this is where it gets dumb.
This is where it's not dumb.
No. It is dumb because look, here's the thing. No.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
You're going to say, why is Hicks on the bench?
Yes.
He should not have been on the bench.
Why?
Because
you're going to take a guy who's played 8 innings already and then do a defensive replacement in the 9th inning?
Yeah.
When the guy's been playing all game?
Yeah. You want to know why?
Nobody does that.
No, bro.
You see scanners? You okay?
Everybody does that. Like, how many times have you seen a good manager that's saying, like, well, why do you have Hicks on your team? Because like, I don't know why he was in the lineup yesterday. But my point being is, like, I've seen that when the Yankees don't have to bat anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or any baseball team, you put in your defensive players that are better. Like, okay, we need to get these outs. It's not about like, you shouldn't be like, well, if you're a major league left fielder, a major league center fielder, and you didn't play for 8 innings, go out there and catch fly balls, right? It has nothing to do with the fact that you're cold. Like what? Then explain the DH. They do that all game, every game.
Yeah, but no. What I'm saying is like for you to just like out of nowhere, like that's the one thing somebody's like, why isn't Hicks in the game?
In the playoffs?
Because he wasn't in the game.
No, in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you empty the clip and you put everybody out there in the bottom of the 9th inning. You put out your best defensive team, point blank. Period. That's the way I would manage the game, and that's the way most good managers manage the game. I'm not saying. Look, the guy could have caught the ball and no harm, no foul, but he didn't. And that's where we are today. And we get to look back and say, you know what? Why didn't fucking Boone put in the guy that is known to be a better fielder? Here's another aspect of it. It's not like it was a guy that's played left field his entire career. And it was like, oh, you know,
he's probably played baseball his whole life, though.
He did. But guess where he plays? Shortstop.
Oh, smooth at shortstop, by the way.
4th game in his entire career playing left field. 9th inning, playoff game. Yeah, Hicks is going in.
I just feel like that's a little over the top is what I'm thinking. Like all of a sudden Boone's like, all right, it's time to make an adjustment.
You want to know why? You want to know why it doesn't get noticed and why? Because it's like,
oh, it got noticed.
No, it got noticed after the fact, but it happens in every game and it's just not a big deal. You're like, oh, whatever. You're just not thinking about it because it's the field. You just had your at bats and it's like everything good happened. And then they put in the defensive replacements. You see it in between innings all the time, even in the regular season.
I do see defensive replacements a lot more when there was no DH and they had to do double switches and shit. And all of a sudden, like staying in right. I'm talking
about Yankee baseball, like no DH situation where they're going to do double switches and things like that. This was like, I think that Buck Showalter does it, and I don't even think he's lost a little bit of his shine naturally because he hasn't done anything in the postseason. Maybe
Buck.
Yeah.
Well, did he win the World Series with Arizona?
No, I think that was Bochy. Was that Bruce Bochy?
I don't know. I don't remember. It was 22 years ago, so I don't remember.
But yeah, nonetheless,
I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
I agree with anybody that is bashing Aaron Boone, and I'm not being nitpicky. I think that's what you got to do in Major League Baseball. And you have to put your team in the best position to win. And if Aaron Boone puts Hicks in and Hicks bobbles the ball, then I will be like, well, I understand. You know, I would understand that. I'm not just here to bash Boone. When he makes good decisions, all good, great. I just don't like him.
Do you think? Now, look, it's do or die tonight, folks. Jameson Taillon on the bump. We'll see if we can get it done in the Bronx, and the Bronx better be alive, which I think it will be. However, what I will ask you, Chris, and you know there's going to be a very, very heavy consensus of fans. If the Yankees get bounced tonight, is Boone gone?
Yes.
You think Boone gets fired?
100%. How long, though, till he gets fired? We think they made a week? They think they try to play it out like they're waiting? Or you think they know the fan base is going to be fed up?
I think that really, like, you put yourself in a bad spot when you wait. It's like
true.
The decision should be made because then what happens is you miss out on potential candidates that could be good. I honestly, can I say a name? Carlos Beltran.
He had the Mets job, then gets out of it because
you want to know
of
why?
the Astro stuff, right?
I want somebody that
you want a former Yankee legend to get in there and not be Don Mattingly?
I want somebody that had such a smart baseball mind that he configured a way to cheat.
See, everybody's saying
and win World Series because of it, because that's how that whole scandal started. It was Beltran as a player on the Astros.
As a Yankee.
Fine. I don't give a shit if this is the way baseball has been running for a while. Carlos Beltran, I'll take that mind. I'll give him, because I don't have to worry about like losing some of the shine. I don't really like Carlos Beltran anyway as a player, so I'll take him. 100%.
Do you think maybe that's why he's been doing Yankee broadcast?
Well,
because it's
he's in the building.
I mean, he's getting paid good money to do it, and that's probably the first reason. But second reason being, like, you have a good standing relationship with the front office. I wonder how much of that actually gets hired by the Yankees. Like, Yes Network is its own entity at the same time. It's owned by the Yankees.
They're Yankees.
Yeah.
They're Yankee boys. You know what I mean?
But
my only thing is, I want to say this on record, that as much of a cool thing it would be to see Don Mattingly come back to the Bronx and be the manager of the New York Yankees, it would ruin it, because everything we know about Don Mattingly right now is good. It's positive. He played his ass off. He came up short in 95, never won a playoff game, all that shit. But it's like, that's the story. We loved him, the hitman, right? That's rah-rah. If he comes into New York and loses like 3 of his first 4 years or 5 of the start, we will start to hate Don Mattingly as much as you hate Aaron Boone. And remember, when Aaron Boone was hired, we all loved this guy because of the fact that he had the walk-off home run, Yankee legendary moment, blah, blah, blah. Now we all fucking hate him, and that's what happens.
Denver, like right now, do you think the people of Denver?
Yeah,
I'm going to give you a correlation here. Do you think like the newer fans of the Broncos give a shit about John Elway? Like, they do not like him right now because of all the shitty moves that he's made over the past couple seasons.
But yet he was a hero in Denver.
He's Mr. Denver Bronco. But I guarantee you that there's the people of Denver are like, this guy sucks.
That's why go somewhere else.
Go
somewhere else. Meaning like John Lynch, right? He's a buck. And honestly, he goes to the Niners and does that thing over there. You can't hate the guy.
Is Don Mattingly even a good manager? Do we know that?
I mean,
I know that he might not. I know that he's not a great one because he didn't really do shit with the Marlins.
Joe Girardi's out
Danny's coming in. Morning, bro. He's saying as long as Cashman is there, Boone's a Yankee.
I don't know. Cashman will flip on bro, the minute I understand that, because it's like Boone is basically a yes man and it's like trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the belief, but I don't know that that's true. When the fan base is pitchforks at your front door and it's Cashman or Boone, it's gonna be Boone.
Yeah,
that's gone.
Well, another one, the scoop. Yes, great idea, but again, you'll learn to hate him if he doesn't succeed as a manager. Derek Jeter would be fucking great. I would love it. But we don't even know if he's a manager type. We don't even know if he wants to do that.
I would take Mattingly as a bench coach. Yeah, that's
sure.
Different.
Then yes, all day.
What does a baseball manager even do?
He listens to
the
earpiece that's in his ear with the analytics guys in the top deck.
In the scales, here's what I think it does though. Clubhouse. Like, I think your message ran dry. Bullpen management, things like that. Making the lineup. There's some things that a baseball manager does, but I do think it has the least important aspect in major professional sports. I don't know shit about hockey,
and maybe this is me being very uneducated, and I'm actually mad at myself for not knowing this. But like the pitch comp things that are in their ear now, or where is that coming from? The catcher?
Everybody. Like, there's the catcher has one. The
pitcher
has one. Yeah.
And but the catcher's not going to talk with a batter right in front of him.
No.
So
the
like
catcher has an earpiece.
Okay.
And the pitcher has an earpiece, and the comms are coming from the dugout.
Okay. So basically, when I almost said Francisco Cervelli. Why? So when the whoever's catching for the Yankees, like, and he's getting the shit from the thing, and he gives the signal, right? All that is happening. So then technically we can't even go back to the catcher and say he called a great game because it ain't him anymore.
Well, no, that's not true.
But they're
can he switch the style?
There's so many other aspects of baseball, bro.
Catcher has push buttons. According,
there's a lot.
I know that.
There's a lot more things that happen in terms of like what a catcher's doing behind the plate, and the manager might need to tell him to adjust the infield. Like the catcher's basically the quarterback.
But ready for this though? Here's another thing. How is and I'm not saying this has happened already, but the comms are in your ear, right? So why do you even have to look over as a pitcher? If somebody's on first base and you have your pitch comm in and these guys can communicate with you in real time, you don't even have to look over throw.
No, I don't think there's no sound. There's not like they're saying there's a guy on first. It's just buttons. Like
they're
one and they're two.
And they're also.
So what is it, like on vibrate or something?
I guess. I
don't know.
I'm very curious.
But
I'm an asshole. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's like a quarterback.
I think that they cut, and that's why there's like a pitch count and all that other shit. They cut.
Oh, so just like you cut the communication.
You don't have like a constant communication.
So the communication is cut to a quarterback's helmet with 15 seconds left on the play clock. So that's all right. I'm with that.
Listen, Sam Grasso coming in with a good point there. You don't think there's any shot if the Yankees do lose, Cashman gets the boot and Jeter steps in as GM?
Because what did Jeter do?
Jeter's a shortstop, guys.
But he was a GM for the Marlins. I get what they're
but he was not. He wasn't even the GM.
He really wasn't. GM.
He just was like a figurehead job guy that he was like a part minority owner, and they were like, "Okay, Jeter, you're the guy." He wasn't like making trades. Maybe he had something to do with it, but he definitely wasn't the general manager.
Look, I understand.
You need to be like a lawyer.
The feel good story
guy.
Would be, yeah, Jeter's back. Yeah, Mattingly. Yeah, all these guys. Yeah, it would be a feel-good story for that moment in time. But then I'm telling you, if the Yankees fall short, the Yankee fans are the most fickle group of fan base in the world. They would turn on these guys like that, man. And it would be a very sad situation for any of us. That's like everybody was like, if I compare this to football, there's a lot of people like, well, if Tony Romo knows all the plays, he should be this coordinator for the Cowboys. I'm like, yeah, and then we lose again, and you would hate Tony Romo all over again. You know what I mean? Like, this is just a bad sitch.
Knowledge of something means nothing when it comes to teaching and pushing the right buttons. Come on, bro. Like you.
All right. That's that. But anyway, before we get into the football, I do want to let everybody know that this show, the Chop Sports Show, is being brought to you in part by Richard Lucas Chevrolet and Subaru over in Woodbridge. Go see my boy George and my birthday friend today. Happy birthday to my best friend Greg. He turned 47 or something like that. No, he's just 37 like me. But he's the manager over at Subaru. Go check out those guys and buy yourself a Chevy or a Subaru. I myself drive a Chevy Blazer. I love it. It's the greatest thing I've ever driven. But if I get the itch to go back to a truck, I'll go get a brand new Silverado. They have it all over there. Go check those guys out. If you guys want to track your bets, you can do so by heading on over to the Pickett app and using the Chop Sports code that we have there to claim your code and start tracking your bets. I don't know if I wanted to track my bets this week. I know Rob might have, if he would have dove in head first, had himself a decent day yesterday. I got to give credit where credit is due. And of course, SteveAspara.com over there making our website. Congratulations. Thank you to Steve for making not only our website, you worked on Ashmere Fitz website, you got all that stuff. And of course, our friends down the hall, Lowell's making all of our merch. We really appreciate you guys doing everything for Mattawan Day, which, by the way, is Saturday. So if you guys are around in the area in Mattawan, New Jersey, come on down to Mattawan Day. We're going to do obviously our Chop Studios thing, but we're also going to be doing some stuff for Mojo. If you want to check out Mojo, you can do that as well, mojo.com, and also download the app. Myself, Chris, and Wrestling Rob were out there at MetLife, and Ashley were out there at MetLife yesterday doing our thing, hanging out, talking to Giants fans, talking to Ravens fans, talking a whole bunch of shit. And I was walking around like, this is so funny. The Giants, they're just ahead of themselves, and they're just going to get slapped around by Baltimore. It's going to be so much fun. And then the day played out. So before we get into all that, actually, it's time to get into all that.
I just wanted to tell Jimmy to shut the fuck up.
Don't even try it.
I appreciate it. And I'm happy for you, buddy.
Mom drives a trail boss.
I know Jimmy said it. Jimmy did make a quote yesterday, and he said, Giants 5-1, by far the worst 5-1 football team in the history of the NFL.
He doesn't know how to accept a good thing.
And,
that's what his problem is.
We'll
talk about it. Anyway, going into Monday Night Football, we'll talk about that game later. But the records, we had ourselves some days yesterday. Rob went 8-4 in his picks. I went 7-5, and of course, Chris went 6-6. And that puts what's wrong?
I just want to say, Kyle, I've definitely seen you talking hell shit about Mike McCarthy, saying like the look of Mike McCarthy standing on the sidelines actually makes you ill. and he is the coach of your team.
How about fans stop acting like children and stop hating people because the team doesn't win? Well, yeah, and that's like, hi, Kettle.
I think
like,
you're meaning.
what?
I think you mean like I hate people for like very, very less minuscule reasons.
Can I also
than,
bring
my
up this?
team sucking.
I have to bring this up before we get into the games. Like, if you're a friend of mine or you're a friend of Chris,
Oh, is this Rob texting?
This is
texting
no,
the
this
group.
is
and
shout out
shit?
to Rob.
Shit.
He's
I
not the
know,
only.
if you're losing.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one. I'm saying that.
Yeah,
just
I don't
in
care.
general.
I don't care, but know that you will not elicit a response from
No
me
shit.
in that
I
moment.
texted him afterwards. I'm like, I'm not gonna put this one in there.
Yeah, he's
because
like,
I think I'll snap
all
his
of a sudden
phone.
I get a meme from Rob with like a spit, like a car wreck, and he's like, I'm like, what is this? He's like, brakes. I'm like, brakes. I still don't know. He's like, we're gonna beat the brakes. I'm like, oh, brakes.
Yeah,
I get it.
funny.
And then
It
they
was
gave
a
him
good text.
touchdown the next play. Remember?
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
see what happens? You talk
And
shit.
then Kyle was just saying, he's like, I've hated Mike McCarthy long before the Cowboys were losing because of
You're all liars. All of you are liars. Everybody loves Mike McCarthy. But anyway, PSA, don't text me or Gooch after a loss. Just don't. And don't try to tag us on social media. Just don't. All right. It's hackage. It's stupid. And we no longer like you. So that's what happened.
No, I
Rob
love
actually,
everybody.
He works here
I
and
love,
he's with us.
I love
so we like
everybody.
him.
I love
But
everybody.
My team loses every week.
But I do, but
For
I do,
years.
I do have like a shred of like this guy, motherfucking.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
that's
just
what just all I
don't
do is I
bother
put
me.
my phone down and I say, okay, what can I do right now to make myself feel better?
Is that
let me go watch the Yankees blow it. That's what was my thought yesterday.
Are you seeing Jimmy's comments about our wardrobe today by any chance? You should be drinking wine on a yacht, and I should be chopping wood down in the forest. Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Anyway, go check out an episode of the Jimmy Palumbo Show, Getting Involved, tomorrow, I believe. But anyway, let's get into the games. All right, let's start with the first one. Let's get it out of the way. Everybody gets their flowers. Scoop, you have to be en route within the next 20 minutes to give Rob what was already agreed upon. So I won't get into any details. We don't want to. We'll try to keep this a PG-13 show.
He owes him a handy.
Oh my God. Okay.
I think he owes me two.
Two
I gotta go
handies.
back because I think he said there's no way they'll win by like 2 scores.
Well,
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, we'll have to review the tape. But as far as this game is concerned, I, for one, picked the Jets because of the spread, but I did say the Packers would win this game. Gooch, on the other hand, said, we're going to, take care of business. This guy over here, Rob, said they're going to beat the brakes off the Packers. And when you see this final score, they, in fact, beat the brakes off the Packers. Now, my biggest question to Gooch, who knows his team like the back of his hand, you lose to the Giants last week, and now the Giants are 5-1, right? So, they're playing well. You lose to the Jets this week. Are you going to be in the Jimmy Palumbo realm of the world and admit that the Packers might just stink?
I'm getting there.
You're getting there. Okay, so we're trending in the right direction because
getting there.
it just seems to me that Rodgers is a frustrated boy out there. He's a very, very mad individual. And I know that there was like rhetoric and narrative on Aaron Rodgers for years. Like, oh, they didn't get anything to help him. They didn't get anything to help him. Then you ship off his best asset. And then you think to yourself, they didn't get anything to help him, Maria. They got kids over there. But now, like, he's already gone on record saying, you know what? If these guys don't develop, I'm out next year. Like, this is not the greatest leadership. I still think he can lace the ball better than most of the league, if not all the league. But I think right now he's going through it.
I don't think that the Packers didn't try to keep Devontae. They offered him more money than the Raiders paid him. So like the Packers were involved trying to keep him. It didn't work out. So they had to go to the next best option. The problem was that it already took place. Like a lot of the NFL offseason took place. There wasn't this litany of receivers that were available. It was like Julio. What's Julio doing? He can't play. So there wasn't guys out there who I'm waiting for the vets.
I think that
It's
a
like
veteran presence, regardless of his skill set, would have benefited. And Sammy Watkins.
Oh, you mean Sammy Watkins?
Who's on the IR? So it's like
Randall Cobb. Who's
Randall
now
Cobb's
also probably
also
on the IR.
toast. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I mean, it's not like Rodgers was trying. The tight end Tunyon had like 10 catches. He was continuously go to him.
It wasn't. And also Rodgers dealing with a thumb injury. But bro, the Jets defensive front really made that impossible. Plus, there was a little bit of. It wasn't like it would have been better if it was just pouring out. But it wasn't. It was like a little bit of a drizzle, and it just made it impossible, especially with the thumb injury. There is no excuses coming here, through and through, healthy Rodgers or not. I think the Packers get dominated yesterday. It happened on all three phases of the game. Our special teams was turning a corner, and we were playing well lately, but we got dominated on special teams. And I don't want to point to that as the main reason, but I mean, when you give up, you get a field goal blocked, right? And then you give up a block punt touchdown. You're not. It's tough to win those games. When the running game is working against you as well.
And I was gonna say, give the flowers to Breece Hall. Another 116 yards on the ground. The guy could run the football.
Matt LaFleur, get your fucking head out of your ass, please.
He looked
Aaron
perturbed.
Jones.
Yeah, what was that?
Was he hurt or?
I'm looking at the carry split. I'm like, what happened here? Look, a lot went into this game of saying like, well, it's LaFleur's offense is this after a loss, and LaFleur's never lost after a loss, right? So there was a lot of these weird stats coming at you. Like you're like, all right, great. But look, credit to the Jets, man. Sauce Gardner looks to be the real deal. The team has a lot of young, fun players to watch, and one of them being their quarterback, and he obviously didn't play the greatest yesterday. But again, you don't have to when you have a running game working like that. When you have these guys on the outsides that are going to get separation, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at this Jets team and it's a fun team. And somebody on this fucking show said they would be good this year.
Yes, 100%. Rodgers
gets 3-0, baby.
Rodgers is getting some of the blame, Joe. But like really, you have to give the quarterback some of the blame. But the Packers are playing bad on all three phases of the game right now. Receivers are getting zero separation. The offensive line, which has been a strength up to this point, like they really just failed miserably in this game. And really, any quarterback in the league getting pressure in his face like that, especially dealing with a thumb injury, bro, he was fucked up yesterday. He was getting smacked in the mouth.
And you know what? And I'm not saying that. Like, remember I told you about these boohoo quarterbacks, but this guy was in a pissed off mood because he just couldn't get anything going. And credit to the Jets.
I have a question.
I have an answer, maybe.
What if Rodgers was like walking around like happy and acting like it didn't matter? There would be another reason why you would bash him. Like, oh, he was pissed off. He was walking around pouty.
No.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying people.
No, but I'm saying there are quarterbacks out there that are still rah-rah despite the fact that they're.
And guess what? The Broncos hate Russell Wilson in the locker room because of that very reason. Like you can't act like nothing's happening around you when there's fucking fires everywhere burning, and you're just like,
if something goes wrong, goes wrong, go to your receivers and be like, look, we got this shit. Let's go. You know, let's go. Not like.
Well, when you guys become NFL quarterbacks and you could decide on how you would carry yourself, because nobody's bashing Brady. We're seeing Brady get don't get me started. We'll talk about Brady. Everybody's heaping praise on Brady for the sideline.
A very funny situation.
And I also love that shit too. If you got Tom Brady in your ass,
did you see Brady give a little wink to the camera? Am I on camera? Oh yeah. No, he looked like this. Like he's like looking like this. Let's just say you're the fucking thing. He's like, you get this?
All that means is Tom Brady is one of the most self-aware people on planet Earth.
Also, Jay Silverberg, Bears fan Silva, texted me a video, and I mean we're not on Brady yet, but bro, when Cameron Brate was motionless on the field, and you have this entire huddle of people praying for this guy's well-being. Where's Tom Brady?
Coaching him up?
No. Where's Tom Brady? He's throwing the ball, warming up, staying hot.
Good for Brady.
Hey, they were losing. What was he going to do?
I have a question. Now
Morals, my friends.
I have a question. Morals. Brady's like probably sent him a gift basket and made sure he's okay. Fine. But Tom Brady's there to do a job, and that's just keep his arm loose for the fucking third down that they're about to have. I'm sorry.
But I do have a question, though, Chris.
I'm sorry. Like, Tom Brady's not a doctor. It's like, what's he going to do?
No, you're hurt. And I'm just like,
you're
hurt. Dead on the ground. I'm just like, get out of the way, bro. I'm trying to fucking throw.
100%.
Like, what are we doing?
100%. We do not have to, bro. That would be called pandering. And because, like, I have something to do here. I can't really help the situation. What am I supposed to do?
Just chill there. But you know what? Chill.
No. I'm 48. I'm going to keep this arm loose. That's what I'm going to do.
I do have a question, though, and then we could move on to the next. The third play of the game, Chris, the Packers get the ball. Third play of the game, it's pick six gets called back because it hits the ground.
12 men on the field.
Do you think it hit the ground? I think. Do you think how much? Do you think the momentum from that moment on like changed things like right away? Like Sauce Gardner was first pick. The crowd probably thought it was a touchdown too. The energy came right out of that stadium from the beginning of the game. And kind of gave it right to the Jets.
He's basically saying when the Jets punch him in the mouth right away.
I'm sure it had a little bit to do with it, but really, I mean, the Packers were flat. If they're going to let that one play that actually in turn went their way, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to let that be the reason why, I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of opportunities, and the Packers had success in points, especially defensively in the first half to get the crowd back into it. You know, like that was a shitty first half by both offenses. The Packers were playing so bad, and you're like, well, the Jets just gave us everything we had. We look like shit. In my estimation, going into the second half was like like we've played really bad. We're lucky to be 3-3. Like now we show what we could do. And it was the Jets that showed what they could do. The offensive line never fixed.
Packers defense shut them down too, though.
Yeah, no, the Packers defense actually stepped up. They gave them no chances offensively. There was like, again, very similar to the week against the Giants. It's like, bro, get some first downs, bro. Stop throwing the ball deep. 4th and 1. Let's go deep again. Like how many fucking times?
Because you know what it is? Sometimes guys like LaFleur think they're the smartest guy in the room. They'll never see it come and watch this. And then they
I have a question for Rodgers and all the other
I'll text them.
Packers coaches. And it's like, have you not looked at the analytics on the Jets corners? They haven't given up a pass over 15, 20 yards all season. And you're throwing the ball deep every play. Just take what they're giving you, hand the ball off, and keep Zach Wilson's high-powered jet. No, Zach Wilson looked like shit too.
I think so too. I don't think he looks good at all.
All right, well, Jets get their flowers.
The weather was bad, and he did what he had to do.
Jets get their flowers. They get a win. Yes, we're off it. But how about we talk more about another New York team that win? I guess all the New York teams want to win. That's fun. But anyway, the New York Football Giants get themselves a dub, another one, 5-1, and all of a sudden. Is it time to start taking these guys serious? And when I say, man, the way I can break this down is this. And I said this on Twitter as soon as they won the game. Coaches matter. Coaching in the NFL matters. This Giants team would probably be 0-6 with any other coach, honestly. And this coach has them believing that no matter how much they're down, they can come back and get that win. And I think that's
the graphic is wrong. Thanks, Payne. You fuck.
What?
It's the Giants actually won this game.
Oh, wow. All right, put it back on generic, by the way. I don't want this, as we talk about the Giants, I don't want this to be there the whole time. But we'll talk about the Giants who get the win. You know what it is? We're just so used to them losing. It's just, it's easy. It's easy to screw up that graphic. But anyway, Saquon Barkley, once again, has himself a day. Daniel Jones hits Bellinger, right? The Giants' offense looked fine, right? The biggest thing is that Lamar Jackson, who is out there betting on himself, playing like an MVP the first 5 weeks of the year, it just didn't look like he had an answer, man. And I know that for whatever reason, J.K. Dobbins was out of this game, or at least not. He got like 27% of the snaps. Like he was out of this game. Kenyon Drake does well in replacement, but like, I don't know, man. I just feel like every time I saw the score, like I'm like, man, you can't put them away, because the Giants, we've seen what they've done in the first month of the season, that no matter how much they're down, they're out unless they're playing the Dallas Cowboys. I had to throw that in there.
Threw a terrible interception on my third down.
Bro, the ball was bobbled, dropped, picked up, run around, sidearmed. Like, what are we trying to do here, Lamar? Stop trying to be a hero every play. Live to see the next down.
So right around like the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter is when the Packers had their punt blocked for a touchdown. I was so sick to my stomach that I literally couldn't look at scores for a little bit. I had to like take my phone out to place my 4:00 bets, and I was like, oh, that's when I saw.
My dad's golden rule is
won, and I lost that bet. Oh,
my dad's golden rule forever. Before social media was a thing. Was when the Cowboys lost, he just goes, no Sports Center tomorrow. I said, okay.
That's been a rule.
That's been a rule in my house forever. Yeah. Don't watch anything. But now that you knee deep in the media, you have to.
I would like not go to school. I'm not going to school tomorrow. The Packers.
I'd have some serious stomach illness after a Giant.
Did you guys? No, I wouldn't even have an illness. I would just straight up say like I'm not going.
Well, you were a rebel without a cause. I'm just saying I was trying to be nice and good for my parents.
Did you guys actually losing to the Giants or the Jets in back-to-back weeks? Like, why am I even here?
I was just gonna say I'm very surprised you're here.
I have no right.
Just gets up and
I
leaves.
have no right.
What the?
I have no right.
Did you guys see the play where Saquon could have scored and?
Oh, smart heads up play. If you're a fantasy owner, I'm sure you're pissed, but who cares?
These guys are playing smart football.
Coached up.
And they want to play for this guy, and it's working out for them.
The Giants are working, and now they go to Jacksonville next week. And while I looked at that schedule, me and my dad were looking at the schedule, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like they could be like 11-1 at some point. Like, when are they going to lose? I do feel like they get picked off at some point. I don't know who, whether it be Jacksonville, which I don't think, then Houston, it's not going to be them. I don't know. Maybe they come steamrolling into Dallas with one loss. I don't know. And that's Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? It's really weird to say, but they're playing inspired football right now, and the New York Giants are for real. There's no more like, who'd they beat? They beat a couple guys.
It's fair to say
except for the Cowboys.
I don't know if the Giants, like Daniel Jones hasn't played himself into a contract extension just yet, but
we'll talk about that on Mojo for sure.
If they don't pay him soon, someone will. And if I'm Daniel Jones and they don't pay me soon, then I'm going to test that market.
Listen, but Saquon could do the same thing, can he?
Well, yeah, Saquon's going to get paid.
Listen, yeah,
I think he's going to get paid before Danny Jones does. I truly do.
Yeah. Well, wait, time out on that regard. How much have you and Sauce and guys like that have drilled it in our heads not to pay running backs?
I'm not the one doing it.
And then all of a sudden don't pay a quarterback a second contract.
I'm not the one doing it, but I don't know.
That's
a tough sell right now. When you look at what the Giants are able to do solely because of Saquon Barkley on that offense. I mean, like,
it's a good point, Mike.
What are they supposed to do? I think that
don't say that out loud.
I think you almost get a discount on Saquon because of the injury history, maybe. And I don't mean a discount. Like Saquon definitely wants top dollar.
What's he get? What's he get? If Zeke is making 16, what does he get?
16.
Probably
so he matches Zeke's price.
But Zeke was
way overpaid. Yes, I get it.
And this was a while back. So like 16 now, I don't know. You're not going to see many running backs getting 16. I'm not giving. How about this? No fucking way am I giving Saquon $16 million a year.
What's Aaron Jones make?
Aaron Jones' contract is like 13. I think it was but they got an out.
I'm just curious.
This year.
Yeah, no, he's probably gone. To be honest with you,
honestly, he's probably not. I think that they better sign Aaron Jones. But now,
Saquon is,
or just keep him.
It's not like right now, right?
Look, Daniel Jones. Hey, listen, and I'm not going to compare the two because it makes no sense. But Daniel Jones is playing like Cooper Rush was playing during those wins because it was like, all right, I ain't making any mistakes. I'm not fumbling over my own 2 feet. I'm doing my thing. I'm competent. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to hand the ball to 26, and he's going to fucking do some good shit.
Can we talk about the Daniel Jones spot here, though?
Sure.
I mean, like, really think about it. What's he done? What was Daniel Jones' knock?
Turnovers.
Turnovers.
Yeah.
Could we look at him? Find him.
Now? That's what I just said. He's not turning the ball over.
He's not turning the ball over. That's his only knock. He's an athlete.
Listen, he ain't Josh Allen, but Josh Allen wasn't Josh Allen right away.
I'll say this. Josh Allen. And I'll say running.
And I'll say this. Who the fuck is he throwing to?
That's a good point too.
So it's like Daniel Jones doesn't have great numbers.
Danny Bellinger, thank you very much. Wandale Robinson, thank you very much.
Case in point, they have nobody to throw to.
Kenny Gollay's on the
all
sidelines.
Of their young, talented receivers aren't playing. So, I mean, you got to give Daniel Jones credit, man. Like, this guy has stepped up. He's delivered. He hasn't wavered. There's been times where they were down at halftime. How many times are the Giants down 10 points at half this year that they won the game?
They won the game.
Like,
all of them.
Fairly convincingly. Like, they have something to this coaching staff and this team.
I said there's something in the water in New York, and it better not be the Hudson. There's something in the water.
You just got to tip your hat, Jimmy. You got to tip your hat.
Jones has
Daniel Jones deserves a contract. I am firmly in
now
side.
In that regard. How much we talking here?
Quarterback money.
Shit.
He deserves Kirk Cousins money.
No way.
Right now, you're saying that right now?
So at what point when Kirk Cousins got that contract, right? I'm saying, but I'm saying, look at the league. What do you think Daniel Jones is going to get at 25?
All right, I'll ask you this. Does Daniel Jones get Dak money?
No.
Why not?
Because he's not going to get that long of a deal, I don't think.
Well, I think Dak Prescott's deal.
I think Kirk Cousins is like more of a 2 year. I don't think he's going to get fully guaranteed.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like I don't think he's going to get this massive deal.
I'm like, what?
No, but like,
so you could pay Daniel Jones $30 million over 3 years and a $90 million contract, $30 million over 3, something like that.
Bro, quarterbacks get paid.
No shit.
So
I'm just saying,
whatever the contract is, expect if you're like, 15, like he's going to get paid more than $15 million. He's going to get paid 20. Like Jimmy G. What's Jimmy G getting? That's what he's going to get, but not now.
The original contract.
The original Jimmy G contract.
Daniel Jones gets a 2-year, $35 million. No, what the fuck? That's cheap. 2-year, $35 million. That's $17 million a year.
I think Daniel Jones is not signing that deal.
No
way.
Hell no.
But where else would
also can't they just franchise tag him?
They can.
Oh yeah, they can.
Well, that's what
you want to do that with a quarterback because that's over 30.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
If I don't want to give
cap hell.
If I don't want to
draft works out, right?
If I don't want to give him, cap hell when it's convenient for you to be.
All right, let's go.
Here
we go.
Uncle Steve signs Daniel Jones to the Mets. All right, let's get into the Sunday night football game. And credit to me, I grow, okay? Mentally, emotionally, physically, right? I grow. I'm able to talk about the Cowboys getting fucking beat by the Eagles last night. I'm okay. I'm a grown man. I can do this. Gooch, you want to take this one? I don't want to talk about this shit no more. No, look, Cooper Rush came back to earth last night. All right, everybody there. If any dum out there was thinking there was a quarterback controversy, well, guess what? There's not. Dak Prescott way leaps and bounds above the rest of Cooper Rush's tenure. Cooper Rush throws 3 bad interceptions. Despite the fact that the Eagles were up 20-0 in this game, right? And then their second half team has been dog shit. We've all seen that. Their second quarter team has been explosive. So go figure out how to manage all your points. But with a final score of 26-17, we outscored them 17-6 in the second half, or at least after the 20-0 mark. And the defense still, Micah Parsons, when Lane Johnson went out, the guy made that right tackle just a victim. Honestly, it was horrible. And look, the Cowboys played well under Cooper Rush. That's what you're going to get out of them. That's it. You're not going to get, once you're down 20-0
Cowboys didn't play well.
The defense didn't play well.
The defense played fine. I mean, they let up touchdowns, but guess what? The Cowboys have let up one touchdown a game, every game except this one, where they let up a couple. The only thing I'll say is this.
They got out to the Eagles game plan in this one was to score early and not let Dallas creep back into it. And that's like the problem was like, when you go down 14 against the Eagles, it's tough with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So I think Dallas had fight. I'll give him that. But
it made it interesting. And I'm one of those guys that I'm not going to sit here and
stand for you saying that your team played well after my team got their teeth kicked in, and you sat there for 20 minutes like Packers look like shit.
Beat the brakes.
And fucking shut up, Rob. What's not about you?
What's your record?
Dave,
shut up. You're not better than us right now, bro. I can't wait till week 10. McCarthy's coming into your house and beating your ass.
McCarthy's not doing it. McCarthy's fat ass is
doing body shaming here in 2022.
Is that his first
Ashley
time
can't stand for that kind of shit. She's into the
Ashley
world.
Also thinks McCarthy's a fat.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yes, she does.
No, speaking for her, she's right there.
Thank you.
Right there.
But let's talk about this, Dave.
What?
The Eagles' next 5 games.
Tinder hot sex adult dating site back in the ball game.
The Eagles' next 5 games.
Talk about the fucking Dak Prescott. And all of a sudden, the sex bots are back. What?
Like, the Eagles' next 5 games are really easy. It's like Texans.
Did I not say in the season preview, that the Eagles can go 15-2? I said that. The Eagles' schedule is the biggest cupcake walk in the world. But the thing is, the Giants and the Cowboys both play the same teams, right? So now you're going to have to get picked off.
The only
now that the Cowboys are down 2 games,
Eagles don't have to play the Eagles.
Exactly.
So now the schedules are really
the Cowboys. Now that the Cowboys are now 2 and technically 2.5 games out of first, right? Because you lost the game head-to-head to the Eagles. It becomes tough sledding because now you can't trip up against a team that will continue to win. The Eagles are a good football team, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. They're 6-0, guys. It's not like I wish I could say like, well, they're squeaking by. I said they could be had. I said their defense could be had, and they can be. Absolutely can be. Guys, remember all pass blocking Zeke? Zeke looked like a stud running back yesterday.
I agree with that.
So don't tell me nothing about that shit. You guys have barked all over Zeke Elliott for the entire season, and he looked like he was 2016 Zeke last night. Spinning, running, outrunning cornerbacks half his age. Like,
what was the score?
What?
In the game when he was running like that? Was the defense like, they ain't catching us with Cooper Rush?
No, it was 20-0.
I know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what? They're just going to take the foot off the gas?
If I'm a free safety and I'm up 20-0, I'm definitely not laying the wood the same way I would be if it was
when Zeke Elliott, who's statistically been owning the Eagles for 6-7 years.
That's just human nature.
In any event, Eagles are 6-0. Cowboys are 4-2. I'll tell you right now, I would sign up. And any Cowboy fan who doesn't agree with me, you're not a fan and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If Dak Prescott went down in week 1 and we lost the game to Tampa, and then you're saying, all right, by the way, it's your backup for the next 5 weeks. If Dak Prescott comes back with a 4-2 record, bro, I'm signing up for that 1,000,001 times.
Moral Victory Monday here at Chop Studios.
Don't even try it. Well, we lost. We got fucking beat up. There's a lot of times we got beat up.
There's no room for more
penalties,
in the
bullshit.
NFL.
It's all sucks. And Skip Bayless, by the way, you suck too. Next. Chiefs, great game. Okay, finally, move on to something that we can be in neutral gang colors here. The Chiefs can't get it done at the end. Josh Allen avenges his loss in Kansas City. Very interesting game. Great dude. First of all, Gabe Davis, that dude. He's definitely one of the better receivers. When he's healthy, he's a good receiver. Now, Stephon Diggs on the other outside. The Bills' offense is a scary problem to deal with. The Chiefs did the best they could, but I'm telling you right now, when push came to shove, that ball got into the hands of Patrick Mahomes at the end. How many of you raise your hand if you thought he was just going to go down there and score again?
I was hoping you did.
I did, right?
Yeah.
I mean, right? You just think that. And then it's the first bad pass you throw, and the Bills defense stepped up, took the ball away, game's over.
I thought Mahomes was a guarantee yesterday. Silly.
Oh, my God. I mean, it's
at least in that spot.
2.5 point dogs at home. He's never been a dog at home. And every time he was a dog, he's won. So all your analytical people out there, yes, the Chiefs were supposed to cover at least this game. And they didn't. And credit to the Bills, man. Best team in the league right now. Bar none. Best team in football are the Buffalo Bills.
I don't know about that.
Who's better?
I don't know.
I
don't know about that. I just said I don't. They might be.
But I feel like you said that just for the sake of argument.
Well, I mean,
the Bills are the best team in football.
I don't know.
But who's better? Just tell me like one team that you're like, I can give a chance to.
The Eagles are up there.
The Eagles are 6-0. Yes, so they have a better record.
The Giants.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
The Chiefs still. Right.
Chiefs are still up there. But the Bills, I think, this is top 3 defense and a top 1 offense. Again. The Bills are the best team in football.
These teams will definitely meet again in the postseason.
I said it yesterday on Twitter. If we're not granted a Chiefs-Bills AFC title game, I feel like all football fans are ripped off. I really do. I mean, look, am I rooting for the Jets to make a run and get to the AFC? Yeah, of course. But like, I'm looking at it as a realistic person, and I think these 2 teams are the best, a cut above the rest of the AFC. What the Jets could do going forward, we'll see. What do we got next? Here's a game nobody gave a shit about. But anyway, Kenneth Walker looked pretty damn good. And Geno Smith did his job. Kyler Murray, my man, you stink. You stink. You are not even in the top 10, 12 quarterbacks in football. You stink. Your awareness is terrible. And for you to get stripped from behind like that in a big part of the game, dude, does it all change when D-Hop comes back next week? Possibly a little bit of an upgrade, yeah. But right now, your job was to weather that storm until he got back, and they couldn't do it.
I mean, the Cardinals are bad. They have like little to no running game. James Conner was out. Marquise Brown.
Benjamin season. Okay, great.
No, I mean, like, point being, James Conner out. Marquise Brown got removed middle of the game with an ankle injury.
Yep, he's their most
Hopkins. Yep. They really don't have much. The offensive line's not protecting him, and I think their head coach is a boob.
I think he wants to go back to college too, right?
He'll be back at Oklahoma as a coordinator or some shit.
I agree. Kyler Murray hasn't played well, right? But
all that money, that money.
And guess what comes out next week?
The Call of Duty. So, when Nuke comes back too. I call him Nuke.
So twice. I think like right now there's a little bit of buyer's remorse for the Cardinals, but at the same time, when you look at around them, they haven't done much in terms of like James Conner. I thought he was 2 touchdown dependent coming into this season to be relied on as anything. And I'm talking in terms of a fantasy perspective, but he was averaging 3.3 yards a carry last year. They didn't have a running game at all. It was just down low. He ate.
Won't say that on the air, Chris, but I can't tell you I disagree. Anyway, this game's a wash. Seattle shows that, again, they're not a great football team either, but this game in particular alarms me about the Cardinals more than I even give a shit about the Seahawks. You know what I mean? Like, the Cardinals are a bad football team. I don't know if there's any promise with these guys. And to be honest with you, there's not a team that could take on a Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is there to stay. So you're stuck. You're stuck. There's nobody who's going to take a $40 million, $50 million contract.
Also, by the way, if you think for one split second that if the Cardinals put Kyler Murray on the trade block right now, that there wouldn't be teams lining up, you're crazy. They 100% would be, because he's a first round pick, and everybody believes
who.
I'm Dave. On the top of my head, Washington.
The Giants are 5-1 with Daniel Jones.
But I mean, we don't think he'd be a better fit for
maybe Atlanta offense with maybe like there's certain situations where the Titans they have Malik, but you got a guy that's first pick overall.
Yeah, all right.
Teams believe in their ability to hire a coach or somebody that could fix that and be like, well, if I had that talented player on my team and in my system, so there is going to be chances for Kyler Murray if the Cardinals wanted to just jump ship. It's not going to happen though.
I do have to ask the question, like the Giants fans, like at this point right now, if the season was put on pause.
Hear us or not?
Here we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. Park's closed. What I was going to say is, wow, it's been a while since Optimum gave us any shit.
Just checking. Yeah, we're good. She was checking to see if it was on.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what she's doing. All right. What was I saying? All right. If I'm a Giants guy, right, and there's a redraft and the season starts over again right now, and you have the chance to pick between Daniel Jones and Kyler Murray, who's your quarterback?
Daniel Jones.
What I'm saying with the Giants fans, like, I think they would stick up for their boy right now. Like at the 5-1 record, like, would you take Daniel Jones over Kyler Murray right now?
The way this team is built and like the we got to prove ourselves mentality. Like, I'd take the guy that just didn't earn shit yet and has to go out there and earn it with this workman blue collar approach that the Giants have, rather than Kyler Murray, who just got $40 million a year guaranteed or whatever the fuck it was.
Take the contracts out.
I mean, you can't.
You could. I'm just hypothetical. Like,
in a vacuum, who's the more talented quarterback? Kyler Murray. It's not close. in my opinion. But when you factor in the contracts and what one guy's making this year and the other guy's making, and like how one guy feels that he needs to prove himself and one guy shows up late in games and shows up in big spots, and one guy made the necessary improvements to get better. And then you have Kyler Murray, who's now paid and has actually gotten worse. And it doesn't look like he thinks that he needs to get any better. He's literally saying yesterday, he was like, it hasn't been this hard for me since my rookie year. Like, you can't say that out loud in the NFL. Like, defensive coordinators and defensive players are going to eat you up on the field.
It's so hard. The NFL is a tough game. Well, sorry,
like,
Kyler.
what did you expect, bro?
That's what happens. Go get your extra XP.
This is what happens. And I say this a lot about, it's not just in football. It's a lot of sports where there's people that are so talented coming up, and they're just a cut above everybody else at every level that they've ever played at. And they never really had to work their ass off for it. In the NFL, everyone is super talented. And it's the guys that work their ass off that become elite and great at it. And Kyler Murray, I don't think he has that in him. I think Daniel Jones does. But I think the talent, and if like you're playing for Brian Daboll, I don't know that Kyler Murray would even last a split second. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's too soft and mental. So I've run it. Let me run this back. I don't like Kyler Murray as a player. I do like Daniel Jones, but I do agree. I do believe that Kyler Murray is more talented.
Okay.
I think that just doesn't matter when it comes down to it in the NFL in big spots.
Done.
You have to have something
noted.
Else.
We got QB controversy.
Yes, we do. Do we have a quarterback controversy in Boston?
Nope.
As Bailey Zappi does it again. He gets himself a win, throws for 300 plus, and they torch the Browns. Now, look, the Browns, this was a game in my mind. You know, you're still weathering that Deshaun Watson storm. You're trying to stay afloat. You got to get this game at home, man. You just had to. And you got just freaking sparked. You got destroyed by Bailey Zappi, Ramondre Stevenson. But that fucking prop bet. Beaver, I love you, bro. But
I mean, that was not, he capped that right.
But it's amazing to me, like how right there it is.
Yeah.
You know, like that to me, I think it doesn't illegitimize the game, but like it makes me really wonder, like how fucking close can these guys get to this shit? Like his over-under was 80 yards, he rushes for 76. Like what? Like that's amazing.
I mean, like it's a high over-under. They put it that high because they knew he was going to do well, and he did well. That was a good
76 and a tug. Yeah, he's good. But anyway, Patriots get another win here. I still think they're not that great of a football team, but credit to Bill Belichick. I do have to bring this up though, and I think we mentioned it on the Mojo show, but like the long snapper decided to, and they brought it up on Boomer and Geo this morning on the Fan. The long snapper wanted to present Bill Belichick with the football for his whatever.
There was a muffed punt, and he recovered it.
Well,
so he came off the field and handed it to Bill Belichick, and Bill was like,
"Get this fucking kid away from me."
And then like two assistants had to grab the guy. He was like, "Okay, go clean out your locker."
Dude, and the best part was like the coach. There's another coach that was right there. It was like, "Don't talk to him. What are you nuts? That's Bill Belichick." It's like Bill Belichick, like, get this fucking kid out of my face.
I mean, I thought it was a little corny of Belichick, like, you know,
like you can't crack a smile, Bill. Like Jesus
but maybe
Christ,
not.
man.
Now, who the fuck am I to talk shit about Bill Belichick? Because look what he's doing with this team. I know that the Browns, honestly, there was wolf tickets on the Browns. Their defense was so bad stopping the run going into this one. And I think what you see is a product of Bill Belichick just outsmarting the competition here. He knew that the Browns had to sell out against the run, right? They did. And he said, okay, watch this. Bailey Zappi had 10 yards an attempt or something like that.
He did. He had 9 something.
Unbelievable.
Insane. So look to see what happens with Mac Jones and shit. I don't think Mac Jones has this big contract like a Dak Prescott does where you're like, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. It's always going to be Dak. That money's there. He's the guy, blah, blah, blah. For this, there's no big money here. So if Bill said, like, we're going to ride the hot hand, then do it. Bailey Zappi hasn't lost either. That's like when my 5-year-old son gave me my macaroni that goes for my birthday. Jeez,
put some respect on Aaron Rodgers' name. He beat Bailey Zappi.
Oh, God.
But he didn't start, so it was Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, so that doesn't count.
So how good could Bailey Zappi be if he couldn't beat out Brian Hoyer for the number 2 spot?
Hoyer's dead, bro. He's got like a concussion.
Dave.
What?
He's fine.
Yeah, he is fine. He is alive. He's with us. Brian Hoyer will not be.
Cameron Brate, though, I'm not so sure about him.
Oh,
Tom
my
Brady
God.
Didn't say a prayer when he was hurt, so I don't know if he's going to make it.
You're a savage. You really are, bro. The guy's lying motionless on the field, and Brady's like, got to make sure the arm's warm. Anyway, moving on.
He's the quarterback of the team. No?
I get it, bro. Oh, you're going to make me
team
nuts.
doctor, quarterback.
Listen,
what's your job? Tom Brady has a job. The doctor has a job.
Sauce came back here and said that too. He's like, well, what's Brady going to do about his injury? Nothing. I'm not saying he's a doctor. I'm not saying he's Jesus and can touch him and he's like, oh, he's better. But like, at least just sit there. Just be like, all right, look, I'll resume my quarterback duties when my teammate is off the field.
What was the score of the game when that happened? Who
cares?
They weren't winning.
Doesn't matter.
I
know they weren't winning.
Tom Brady's out there.
Let's start questioning Tom Brady. Let's start
questioning
Tom Brady's preparation and competitiveness now. At this point in his career, like, did we not know that he doesn't care about anything other than he just left his family? You think he cares about Cameron Brate's like headache or whatever the fuck it was?
Oh man, you're downplaying this shit. Guy was motionless. He's 5 yards away from him. Sit there, take the knee, relax for a minute, Tom.
If you're
we all know it. You like football. We get it, bro.
In the NFL that just played in a football game is laying motionless on the. That's literally what happens maybe once a game.
I understand that, but like,
and I'm not trying to take. You understand, like, I am not an actual piece of shit. I don't want Cameron Brate to be hurt, but I also don't think that Tom Brady standing there while he's, feeling like I need to do this to get my team back in a spot, like, that could be a bad thing, detriment for a football team. 100%. Like, you got to stay in it. It's like that happened. You can't do shit about that in 2 minutes.
So then what do you say about all?
Do they stop the games for good? It's like, we got.
No, but what about all the players doing the prayer?
Pandering.
Oh man,
I'm gonna be like next to Brady, be like, "Yo, hit me on a post real quick. I want to work on some shit,
guys."
I agree. I think it's the same thing. Like, it definitely slows down the game. And what if a kicker had to make a big kick in that moment, Dave, for the Dallas Cowboys? Had to make a big kick.
You don't have kids, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
If it was a big game, my kid was like good, I would walk up and be like, "Yo, how are you doing?" And like that also may have happened because there's a ton of precautionary shit. Like Cameron Brate laying motionless, they might have been like, he's like, "Yo, I'm fine, I'm good," and they're like, "No, stay down. We're gonna unscrew this helmet and do all that." Because
so then, if any of the teammates heard, "I'm fine, I'm good," then they would have all gotten up like, "All right, man," and to pat him on the back and go play football. They're all standing there without a news update.
Not everybody on that team is a 7-time Super Bowl champion, 10-time Super Bowl appearances. Come on, bro.
Oh. It gives people a breather the longer they stay down, and depending on the score of the game.
No, see, Sauce, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. For you to he said if this was Dak Prescott throwing him like, what a warrior, what a competitor. No, man, it's a piece of shit move. I'm sorry. Stop going to bat for Tom Brady because he's Tom Brady.
I mean, if Cameron Brate was good, then maybe people would have.
Holy shit. God. God.
Isn't that how it works?
Cancel off the face of the earth today.
No, I'm making jokes. I'm making jokes about how everybody else is.
Jesus Christ.
What's up?
How many what?
I said how many followers Cameron Brate has. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You're all terrible. And then my just Sturch of this show, Dave Sturchio saying, Cameron, I hope you are okay.
I hope you're fine too, bro. But I think Cameron Brate's okay with Brady warming up behind his injury.
Hey, if anybody looks bad, it's Brady.
Us. I'm sure Cameron Brate, once he sees the film, is gonna be like, "Yo, Tom, what the fuck, dude?" He's not. He's not because it's Tom Brady.
So if Cameron Brate's not doing that, then why should we?
Cameron Brate wants to get on the field again one day. And if you talk shit about Tom Brady, you're not getting back on the field.
No, that's not how that works.
Oh, it's not?
No.
It's not.
I thought you said Brady sent them a gift basket.
Scoop. Is Cameron Brate even on TikTok?
Okay. Panthers, Rams.
Yes, please.
Robbie Anderson gets.
Yes. So another great sideline escapade yesterday. Robbie Anderson kicked off the.
He said Brate dropped the pass 2 plays before that, so he was completely okay with the injury. He
bet the
See, that's what I need to know. Backstory.
Yeah, really, the in-depth analysis. Well, since he dropped that pass, it's all shit. Anyway, Jesus God, I feel like I need Father Paul. You motherfuckers need Jesus. Anyway, moving on. Rams, right? Robbie Anderson tossed off the field. New coach. Is this a good move, Chris, or is this a bad move on the new coach's part, kicking his player off the field in his first game as interim head coach?
It doesn't matter. He's going to be kicked out of the game soon by his front office, and it has nothing to do with his job. He's in a can't-win situation in Carolina right now. I
agree.
Robbie Anderson played himself. Robbie Anderson's been in and out of giving a shit about the league for about 2 years now. He was like, I might just retire in the offseason. He came back because he's getting paid a lot of money to do so. And, I don't know, because really, is there a team out there that's going to be like, we want this like below average, weird looking receiver to come cause problems in our locker room now? Like, I feel like he pretty much talked himself out of the league I'm sure that at some point or another, maybe someone will give him a shot. But
Robbie Anderson's not that good. You think it felt like it was a Singletary thing?
Robbie Anderson's not that good.
Can't do it. Can't win with him.
First of all, you can't walk up to your head coach when you have your helmet on, put your face in his face with your fist.
That was receivers coach.
Whatever. Argue with the receiver coach first. Yeah.
And it's like, how about this, bro? What do you got at quarterback? Like, what do you want the coaches to do?
Yep.
You know, you want them to be like, yeah, air it out. First of all, you haven't been open in 3 years, right? Robbie Anderson, he's not that good at football. What are we even talking about him here for? Because he made an asshole of himself?
Yes, he made an asshole of himself.
Robbie Anderson, see ya. DJ Moore. DJ Moore. I'll give up a third round for DJ Moore.
I'm sorry. I can't believe Robbie Anderson just got booted from the side. It kind of reminds me of Ohio State quarterback. Can I get an amen? Mikey Illy Willy. I fucking love it.
You wouldn't take
Kyle
him
Kearns
right
is
now,
a
Chris?
goddamn national treasure. I swear to God.
Yeah, right now for the Packers. Like,
if you wanted to play wide out for the Packers right now, I'd give you a crack at it, bro. No, Robbie Anderson, we all know that Green Bay's not bringing
I'll take Chase Payne.
He looks like
as a receiver for the Packers.
Looking like Marlon Wayans from Don't Be a Menace. You're going to bring him into Green Bay. They'll be like, what the fuck is happening?
I agree. I don't think he cares.
Problem.
I think he's over it.
Just seems kind of shitty. But anyway, the Rams, in this regard, actually got a big win. They needed this. Another story that came out right before the game crushed me in the fantasy world. What's up with Cam Akers, bro? He's getting traded. What's happening here? Like, all of a sudden, it's like
I think it started to identify the fact that Sean Payton, or not Sean Payton, who's another one I can't fucking stand, but Sean McVay also can't stand.
Your impression today of them standing doing the show.
It's the most. First of all, I have a news for Fox pregame show. Stop standing these dinosaurs up across the like. You got like Terry Bradshaw just shaking in the corner. You have Sean Payton just trying to figure out what to do with his hands and feet simultaneously while giving analysis.
Wearing the worst sneakers too.
Yeah, bro. What's going on with that?
What happened there?
Someone needs to help him. Dude.
If my grandma, I love you, Grandma, if she saw anybody wearing a suit with fucking sneakers on,
she'd about to talk
kick
about
his
Cam
ass.
Akers, Sean McVay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what's happening there?
If you're a starting running back and you have a shred of success for the Rams, start packing your bags. Because Sean McVay just like, I think it's like one of those.
We're working out a problem.
I truly
we're gonna figure it out.
There's a running back. There's a head coach. Same system. He was actually an assistant for Shanahan. McVay was right. Kyle Shanahan, the older Shanahan, Mike Shanahan, did the same thing in Denver. Like, if you had a good year, he was like, "You're gone," because it's the system. And I feel like Sean McVay just doesn't give a shit. He just wants to prove that, you know, anybody could go back there. But guess what, Sean? It's not working right now. And hopefully for Cam Akers' sake and for my fantasy team's sake, it's not that he just sucks now. It was an effort thing in terms of the eyes of Sean McVay.
I thought for sure there was like a death in the family. I was like, oh,
they said personal issues.
Yeah, no, personal issues.
Meaning like,
but Sean McVay came out and said what he said.
It was fractured here because Sean McVay came out in the offseason, right? And he said that there was like urgency. He expressed to Cam Akers, like, you need to do more, right? And this was like in the offseason. Cam Akers said, yeah, he did have a conversation with me, but nothing else was said. And Cam Akers basically went into week one thinking that he was going to be the featured back. Right? Nobody told him. Like, he was going through warm-ups, going through walkthroughs. Like, you're going to get the ball. All of a sudden, game one happens. He sees 3 snaps, basically 3 carries for 0 yards. And then in the media, he came out and said, well, I was completely unaware. And Sean McVay was like, well, I did say something to him back 3 months ago. And I think what it came down to was Sean McVay gives him the fire he needs to start playing better and practicing harder. And in his eyes, he didn't see that out of Cam Akers. So rather than go back to the player again, who's an adult, and say, you know, I haven't seen anything, he just didn't say shit. And he said, okay, you don't want to respond to what I said to you, then we're going to put somebody else in there. And the relationship was fractured from that point.
Jimmy, just so you're aware, I've just looked at 3 credible sources that I follow on baseball. There's nothing that I'm reading about the Yankees having any travel issues back to New York. Like, he's thinking that they're still in Cleveland right now.
Isn't it like a 3-hour drive?
It is true. I mean, you want to get on a bus, but I don't see anything of that.
Shout out to everybody. I don't want to say this word, but like giving Jordan Poyer all the credit in the world because he drove 15 hours to Kansas City. I find it.
Have you seen who would possibly drive with him? Have you seen his girlfriend? I would drive that.
How about this? How about this? How about this?
Jordan.
You shouldn't be praising an NFL player, which I do think. I like Jordan Poyer, tough, great player, stud, like him. But like, guys, what do you expect an NFL player to do for the biggest game of the season drive 15 hours to go play. He wasn't cleared to fly. So he said, okay, we have time to drive there. Yeah, do it. And everybody's like, bro, that's tough. That's how you need to be. Of course it's how you need to be. It's like par for the course. Oh, you could get there. There's time. You're cleared to play. Go play.
All right. So just clarifying, Hawaii Mike is saying it was the Yankees media team that was delayed. So nobody cares about them. The players are back in New York and ready to rock and roll. What's next? Very shocking game here. And sorry to talk about this on my boy Greg's birthday, but we watched this together. The Atlanta Falcons stomp out the 49ers. I don't really know what happened in this one. I'm trying to watch the whole thing, and I'm like, well, what am I watching here?
The 49ers had no defense.
The running game, the Falcons.
The Falcons did what they wanted to do. Kyle Pitts got a little bit involved, and they were out every starter on their defensive line. That's what happened.
Okay. So
they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop Atlanta, and they couldn't get anything going outside of Ayuk.
Big game out. Yeah, I was going to say big game out of Ayuk, but outside of that, rough. Tough
also,
sledding.
realize that Jimmy G is still Jimmy G, and he has glaring deficiencies, especially in a game where they're behind.
And the injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well. Everybody was banged up. Did you already say that?
Did you see after the game, the head coach took the offensive linemen still in uniform all to the bar in the stadium, and they all drank with the fans and stuff?
Atlanta's doing that?
Atlanta did that, yeah, yesterday.
It must be.
I mean, when they're $3 a beer, isn't it true? Don't they have like the dollar hot dogs that they're never going to change?
Bro, it goes to show you like how Atlanta's 3-3, and they're buying their linemen beers in the bar, full uniform in the stadium. The Packers are 3-3, and it's over.
Think about that.
Yeah, it's very
completely over.
Different
like, it couldn't be worse right now in Green Bay.
Because you're not like I said. When's the last time you guys were even 3-3? It's unfamiliar territory.
Also.
Last time Rodgers lost at home, too.
If there's any hope that I'm going to cling to, and you know I'm going to here, look at the Packers' record in November and December to last.
There we go.
Yeah, but Rodgers hasn't lost at home in like 15 regular season games till yesterday.
What?
It's something big like that, yeah.
Nobody's gone into Lambeau and won?
I mean, I feel like the 49ers
had regular season.
Last year, yeah. Playoffs, they lose every year at home, so.
You're not wrong. All right, so kudos to the Falcons in getting that done. Big upset here in my mind, and we all picked him. We're all riding with Tom Brady and that piece of shit. He gets a loss here. Big one. The big thing is Kenny Pickett gets knocked out. Right. By the way, concussion protocol. Man, have they upped that shit? Like it is. The minute you like just look
your thoughts on the new concussion protocol.
Listen, if that's what they want to do, then it's going to be league wide and stick with it. Because the minute somebody looks like a little bit of a glazed eye, you're out for good. Lane Johnson,
and I was like 2 plays later.
Lane Johnson kicked out of the game last night.
I love this new concussion protocol because he was like, "I'm good, dog." You heard him like you read his lips. Tried to stay in the game. You're like, nope, and he's like.
They don't want. Listen, they don't want that issue.
Started throwing up.
They don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke at all. But the Steelers, credit to the Steelers, man. Look, Kenny Pickett gets hurt, concussion protocol, all that nonsense. In come Mitch in relief and gets it done. And credit to him and credit to the Steelers defense for holding tight. Tampa Bay looked out of sorts. Tom Brady, maybe you should have waited around and not thrown the ball and actually just kind of sat there and said a prayer because the football gods just shoved it up.
This is exactly what happens when you put a guy in the role that he belongs in. Like Mitch Trubisky, nobody's saying that he doesn't belong to being a backup.
He owns the Bucks, according to Jay Silva.
You're a backup quarterback. And you come in and you spell the team. You're able to do things with your legs and just be, know the offense well. But Mitch Trubisky's not a starter. We saw that. And we get to see right now that he's a good backup. So tip your hat to Mitch Trubisky. He deserves it, but Kenny Pickett's still going forward.
How about Chase Claypool, man? Another one who had a great game. Oh, by the way, did you see his post game?
It's because they've been working with the twos all
Chase
time,
Claypool
right? Got his spot ran by George Pickens, and then Kenny Pickett ran Mitch Trubisky's spot. So they were like, okay, well,
you want to play catch? Yeah. No, but did you see post game with Chase in the locker room? So according to
Dave, what time did the game end?
I don't know, man.
What time did the Packers game end? What time did I shut down my day yesterday?
I don't know. I don't text you after a loss. So I just don't. I wait till the next morning.
I didn't see any of the press conferences.
No, but anyway, it wasn't even a press conference. It was like the media around his locker, and he had to pause. He's like, man, hold on. He's like, they gave me my first dip, and he's like struggling with it. He had dip in his gum. Chase Claypool.
People celebrate with dip. Like, yeah, give me cigarets. Let's celebrate with dip in my mouth.
Cigars. People do cigars all the time.
Cigars, I understand. If you win a game, you're smoking a cigar.
But he's like
dip.
You got the little lip thing going on.
I was like trying to cut weight for wrestling, and I took a dip in the back
just
of the
to
bus,
throw up,
and I threw up. No, I think I was just like trying to spit.
Yeah.
Did you make weight?
Yes.
Then there you go.
But it made me throw up, and I was like nauseous. It was the worst experience of my entire life. I would never ever in a billion years dip.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Steelers,
Horrible.
again, big win there. That's huge. Game I didn't really pay too much attention to. I felt like this was in hand, a lot of it. The Vikings played really well. Dalvin Cook busted off a nice run. Another great Kirk Cousins played very well. The Dolphins, again, they started off with our guy. What's his name? Skyler, right? He started the game. He gets knocked out of the game with a thumb issue. Teddy Bridgewater, who's cleared to play, comes back into the game. He played all right. I think my dad was even saying, like, Tyreek Hill had like 10 yards at the half and wound up with like 177 once Teddy got back in the game. So I listen, the Dolphins will be all right once Tua gets back. I think they'll still be high powered, but another loss here, it makes you kind of backpedal just a little bit about the Miami Dolphins in this season. No,
I think they're 3-3 now.
That's what I'm saying, and they start off 3-0.
Yeah,
so,
Vikings 5-1.
I mean,
the Vikings are quietly one of the better teams in the NFC. Now, 2 games up on the Packers.
They're starting to figure things out a little bit defensively, Miami, and they need to because it's slowing the game down a little bit on their offensively. They're not able to get the run going just yet. I think outside of what was it against the Jets where Mostert had a decent game, but that was in basically garbage time. So the Dolphins haven't run the ball effectively in meaningful spots in football games. And Minnesota's defense showed up yesterday. Did you see the celebration they had in the end zone?
It was like it was gritty first, and then it was something else.
31 different celebrations.
Yeah, they covered it all.
Waddle, which I think the best celebration you could possibly do is the other team's celebration,
especially if you're away.
Yeah,
that game wasn't in Miami.
No,
but it's so easy to image and to make fun of Jalen Waddle's celebration because you could like try and do it with a little bit of swag, but if you try and make fun of somebody, it's like very easy to make fun of that. Also, the Dolphins suck.
Also, breaking news. Anyway, Dolphins
need Tua
trending in the wrong direction, so they got to turn it around.
It's a shame that they're going to hold Tua out for the next month because of public perception. He's probably been fine.
He's back next week.
I saw something say he might be back next week.
He was limited in practice on Wednesday, so
basically that they cost themselves a game in the standings because they didn't want to deal with any backlash.
Media wise,
guarantee he was cleared.
But what's the actual protocol with that? Like, what's the okay time frame to give them?
They should have called you and been like,
"Are you right?" They should have.
They'd be like, "Dave,
yeah,
I know you're going to do a show on Monday.
Sure.
Do you think it's okay if we start?
Not yet.
No, you know how that conversation. Dave, we know you have kids. we want to check with you first.
Yes, as a dad, I would not let Tua play just yet. All right, moving on. Jags Colts. What the frick happened here? See, egg is all over my face now because I think that the Jaguars played way over their heads a couple weeks this year where I was like optimistic that they would be good. Trevor Lawrence does have himself a really good game, but the Colts ultimately played very well. Matt Ryan played very well. Michael Pittman Jr. had himself a day. The Colts just looked like the complete team that they could be. And since they started off, the tie in the first game, lost the one game. Like, even Kyle said it a couple weeks back. He's like, they got that shit out the way. Now you're about to see the actual Colts. And they showed up, man. The Colts are playing very well right now. 3-2-1, I believe. So
they still give up 27 to the Jaguars.
Jaguars can score, though. They can score. Trevor Lawrence ain't no slouch. Like, he's a decent quarterback.
I know they could score, but they could also do
Matt Ryan did throw 60 times.
They could also do it. They could also do what they did the week before that, and that's pretty much get blanked at home against the Texans.
Yep.
So yeah,
Deion Jackson. Did you see his fucking stat line?
I did. You saw it firsthand because I'm pretty sure that we played one of the matchups yesterday.
Me and you played. You picked him up.
Yeah. I had Jonathan Taylor, so I picked him up. And look at the dynasty league. Anyway, I beat you in that league.
Doesn't it feel like these two teams play each other
Did you beat
every
me?
week?
I do feel like that.
They've played twice already this season, so I think that might be the only teams that have
I'm
played.
beating Gucci. I'm beating the shit out of your brother. That's in our league. So I'm Dynasty League. I'm down. Okay, that game's over. You wiped the floor with me on that one. Yeah, Deion Jackson, who's now ruled out. Did he get hurt too? I mean, you got the 28 points out of the way.
Will be back next week.
Yeah. So anyway, I did lose the Gooch in fantasy. Actually, I have the Chargers defense tonight. So if they can get a 45,
could happen.
I'm in. The dub is coming home. Anyway, wrapping this week up with a game that Joey Burrow returns to the what do you call it?
I might have Gerald Everett starting in that game as well.
I have a fantasy question for you. Okay. This is very pivotal. I am down. No, I am up in my league with 20-point defenses now. Keep in mind, that's how they start. And then they go down. I'm up by 8. Okay. 20-point defense will kick in immediately. I'll be down by 12. His defense will go down. You would think, Stella's calling me. His defense will go down, right? as the Chargers do better, do I start in this spot? I need some points here. Latavius Murray or Gerald Everett? Gerald Everett will be a second tight end.
Gerald Everett. Latavius Murray might not even play.
I saw that he was going to get suit up and
he's
goal line
be the third
poacher,
back,
maybe.
Third back.
All right,
Melvin
so
Gordon,
Everett's the guy?
Boone.
Right. Everett's my guy.
And then it's Mike Boone, right? It's Mike Boone.
Everett's my
Melvin
guy.
Gordon. Latavius Murray is an emergency situation at best.
All right. Anyway, back to this game real quick. Returns to the Bayou. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they connected a bunch of times. Jamar Chase had himself a great day. The Bengals get the win. The Saints, who are already just decimated by injuries going into this game, some people are actually still on the Saints going into this game because you said the line didn't even move, right? I mean, everybody was like ruled out. Olave, Thomas, a bunch of guys. And there was no line movement, and we all kind of rode with the Saints and lost that shit.
It was funny because a lot of this stuff happened after basically we capped the game, and then it was like the line still didn't move, so it gave a little bit more confidence to the situation. But Kyle said it yesterday. He was like, I'm terrified to be holding a Saints +3 ticket right now, and that was like right before kickoff. It actually wasn't a bad cap.
It looked pretty good for a little while, yeah. So anyway, Bengals get a big win there. All right, before we get out of here, obviously the Monday Night Football game goes down tonight between the Chargers and the Broncos. The Chargers returning home, 4-point favorites at home. Like I said, Rob made some significant movement. He's now only 20 games under 500. He'll make his way eventually. I think yesterday, this is how you do it. You inch back. I'm 2 games under 500, and Gooch, you are 500. So 1 game behind you. I'll start with Rob. Rob, where are you going with this one? The Chargers are home, favored by 4. How you feeling?
I just don't believe in the Broncos. Just play them next week, and we're going to blow them out to 4 points.
Getting confident.
This got to be the worst head coaching going against each other, though, right? Broncos head coach, Chargers head coach.
The Chargers head coach has made a lot of bonehead decisions. I think he's a good coach, but the Broncos is toast.
I think he's holding that team back in a major way, and they'll be very lucky to get rid of him as soon as possible. It could be one of those spots too where when you're a head coach of a team that has a really good quarterback, i.e. Mike McCarthy.
This game is not in LA. This game is in LA. This game is definitely in LA. It's in LA. Scoop, you're wrong. Shut up.
Definitely taking the Chargers though. Yes.
Okay, so you're on the Chargers minus the 4 with the Chargers. Gooch, where are you at, bro?
I'm going to take the Broncos in this one, getting the points.
What do you think about the over, Chris? 46.
I'm not going to pick the over in any Broncos games, but I do think their defense steps up because they have to. And I'm a little worried about the Chargers defense. I know that they're still banged up.
What do you mean? I said it wrong. You said returning to Denver.
Oh, anyway,
whatever. Shut up, Scoop, you dork. Anyway, so you're taking the +4. I actually said Gooch plus Broncos. Gooch +4. You're in on it?
Yeah.
All right. I myself am going to run with the Chargers on this one. I think that they're primed to have another nice night at home. Broncos just can't seem to get it going. If they start off hot, then that's the only chance the Broncos cover this number. They got to start hot.
The Broncos are like the most embarrassing team in football right now, and their fans hate. Not even their own fans like them. Their own fans don't want to see them play. They're leaving in the middle of the game. I think this is just a spot right now where it's like, why is it only 4 if they're playing so bad?
Ready for this? You're right. And Casey Hamilton, his 4th primetime game showing Denver. And I said, obviously, you can't change the schedule. It's not made on the fly. They really loaded you to just say, we need you to see Russ in this new uniform, right? Guess what? It ain't over. They're going to London in like a week. I know it's not primetime, but another nationally televised game with fucking Russ Wilson at the helm. He gets starched tonight. I think, give me the Chargers. I'm all on the Chargers on this one. All right, let's get out of here. It's hot. It's a long day ahead. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please like the video if you can. If you haven't already, do so. That helps us out tremendously on the search. Go follow us over on the Mojo Market Report. We got a brand new episode out right now. Go over to mojo.com. Download the app for us. That would be wonderful. And tell them Chop Sports sent you. And, of course, we'll be back here on Thursday. Again, Yankees are playing tonight. We don't have a real plan for it yet. Obviously, the season could be over, and it might get too long-winded as far as or too far removed from a loss. So we'll see how this game plays out tonight and see. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow for a little bit. We'll see. So for Dave Sturch, Chris Gooch, and of course, Wrestling Rob, this has been another episode of the Chop Sports Show, and we'll see you guys back here right now, tentatively on Thursday.
Scoop, stop touching people too when you meet them, weirdo. Did you see that picture?
Yeah.